like the police. Now you really leaving a bad taste in people's mouth by having unnecessary officers because people don't want them around because you got a bad reputation. You always had a bad reputation as far as policing because policing always turns into over policing. And so people don't want you around because you don't bring justice. You bring bullshit, you bring madness, you bring lies.
Destruction.
So don't nobody want these people around. But yet Esau gonna insist because he's gonna use these agents to start to pick fights with the people. Just like we told y'all before the first boot streets, we told y'all what was gonna happen. And it's unsensified because this man running out of distractions. You got this fake shooting that went down. Nobody believes it.
You can't be ignorant to Satan's devices, man. Because the moment you let your guard down and put any type of trust in this man, he gonna renege on that. You're gonna find out that this man was lying all the time, man.
I knew it was a psyop. I mean, I ain't have to look at the video. You know, I looked at it. I knew it was a psyop simply because Esau don't deal with truth. He does not deal with truth. If that was real, it wouldn't have came out that fast and it wouldn't have been so biased. They always paint these politicians to be innocent, like they ain't nothing wrong, and for some reason somebody want them dead. No, it's plenty of reasons people want them dead. So that's why we say just because, and this is another way we know that this is psyop because the media jumps all over it
quickly too, man.
Quickly. If this was the truth, they're probably trying to hide it because there's no way to benefit from it. So I think they're going for a sympathy vote because the midterms right around the corner, and they expect voters to go out and feel sorry for Trump, despite all the madness and affliction and oppression this man has brought.
And if you feel bad for this man, and you over here in America struggling while they taking all your tax dollars and money and funding that war over there, then you a fool. You a fool, and you need to be just put away, man, because you wasting your time. You know, this guy has nothing but your worst interest in hand, man. And he's showing you, as America is going down the train every single day, you see that these Edomites, especially Trump and his administration and Benjamin Netanyahu, these cats setting you up for the okie doke, man.
Setting you up to get bombed, and they gonna run.
Yup.
Before we go any further, we want to say Shalom.
Shalom.
Before we begin, we want to give all grace, honor, glory, and praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Ba'adash. Double honor to the apostles, the elders, the bishops, the great millstone, teach us this truth daily. To the brothers out there teaching this word, we're going to say Shalom. To the few sisters out there listening, we want to say Shalom.
Shalom. Shalom.
Yeah, Esau is a great pretender. He loves to pretend. He loves to pretend to be dangerous. He loves to pretend to be angry. He loves to pretend to be Israelite. He loves to pretend to be politicians. He loves to pretend to be cops. This man is a pretender. And the reason he has to pretend to be somebody else so much because he truly hates who he really is in his spirit. Now that his true spirit is being exposed throughout the earth, the world is meeting Esau Edom, not the Caucasian. He ain't meeting the white man. No, the world is meeting Esau Edom. And there is a clear reaction to this meeting. People are rejecting this man's spirit because they see that there's nothing good about him. If he gonna tell you something, you better trust it's a lie. You better not believe him. It's like this psyop. Anything they push around the clock in the media, 24 hours a day is a psyop. They trying to convince you to believe the bullshit. Now, what's going on? As many people out here mad at Trump. People can't shoot no more. They don't make assassins like they used to. I mean, how many times somebody took a shot at him, quote unquote? Remember Ketchup Pat?
Yeah. Ketchup Pat on the hill.
So they don't make assassins like they used to. And then the shooter, they went on his on one of his profile pages, on one of his social media pages, and they found this man was wearing an IDF sweatshirt. So that lets you know right there he juiced in with the tiny tops to make this a psyop. Because they want to distract from world news. They want to distract that Iran is kicking ass and Trump is looking like an idiot once again on the world stage. So they going for sympathy now.
But they can't. I mean, they can't get nothing out of people. No sympathy, none of this. A lot of people, as soon as that video came out, they hopped all over social media, and a lot of people already seen the foolishness for what it is because people, that veil that was over people's eyes, they able to see what's really going on now. They asking questions. You know, they're not taking things for what they see on TV. They taking everything with a grain of salt, and people are asking questions now. This is Isaiah 25:7, and he will destroy in this mountain the face of the covering cast over all people, and the veil that is spread over all nations. That veil that was put over everybody was them being blind to the fact that the things that's going on behind closed doors. It's no coincidence. These people been conspiring for a very long time. You know, and they're getting to a point now where they're moving forward with their plans, but they're putting these psyops in position to keep your mind straight off of what's really going on, man. You forget that they still got the CDBCs and digital IDs coming out. They mentioning that. So eventually you're gonna be a digital slave with this thing. That's why we constantly tell you people about that MOTB as well. You know, but back to Trump, don't trust our enemy, man. Don't let this man get y'all in the position that's gonna get you effed up. And I'm talking about you Israelites, because a lot of you out there believe in that man too. Which you are a foolish person if you believe anything that devil tells you, man.
All right. I got Job chapter 15, verse 34. For the congregation of hypocrites shall be desolate, and fire shall consume the tabernacles of bribery. They conceive mischief and bring forth vanity, in their belly prepare deceit. Before these fake shooters even rang out, there was a woman at this event, and she gave you a telltale clue. She was speaking very ominous. She said, just watch what happens tonight. It's going to be shots fired. She tried to present that as saying that it's going to be people arguing back and forth. But there were literal shots fired. So she gave it away right there to let everybody know that this was planned. How else would she know that literal shots was going to be fired if it wasn't a psyop? So y'all gotta keep your head on the swivel in these days. Never trust thine enemy. Sirach chapter 12, verse 10. That is real. Because if you blink too long, you're gonna miss something and you're gonna believe a psyop. First of all, you gotta put on the whole armor you have by shooting out shot. That's the only thing that's gonna protect you from the wiles of the devil, all his enchantments. Because you got AI out here. That's pretty much modern day magic. Because you can look at a box, a flat box, your TV on the wall, and see false images that you think are real. That's modern day magic. This man has the power through AI to lie on anybody he wants to and make it look convincing. But it's not working no more, even with AI. All his stuff is failing. Let me get this one. You got one?
Yeah, one thing that you Americans, Babylonians, one thing you need to take from this though is that one day you're gonna have shit like this happen on you Americans.
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing you need to take from this. You know, yes, that was a psyop, but on the back end, you need to pay attention that the fact that these sleeper cells that are roaming around in America right now that are waiting on that call, that green light to come down on you Americans is in the background. That's what you need. That's one thing that you do need to take consideration. That one day if they so-called in Washington D.C. shooting at the president, which it was fake, this can happen in real life in my neighborhood.
Yeah.
This can happen in my neighborhood. This can happen to somebody that I know. This can happen in the state of somebody that I know and love. Instead of just taking it as a grain of salt, you need to think about that, man. Playing around until the smoke get hot and that fire raise up against you. Then what you gonna do? You're gonna be living with regret. This is 2 Corinthians 2:11. Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. You do not be ignorant to this man's craft, man. You know, he goes out here and he causes fake craft to prosper with these lies. And you American people, y'all don't realize that this man is telling you lies, and you just run with it. So you people that's out here whistleblowing, just keep doing what you're doing, you know. That's feeding the men of the Lord. So we can go out here and do more lessons.
Yep. I got some more scripture. This is the pride and insanity of Esau right here. And the Lord is actually mocking it. The elder brought this scripture out. I thought it was fitting because it does match the scenario that's going on today. And this is Isaiah chapter 47. We can start at verse 8. Therefore now hear now this, thou that art giving pleasures, that dwellest carelessly, that sayest in thine heart, I am, and none else beside me. I shall not sit as a widow, neither shall I know loss of children. But these two things shall come to thee in a moment, and one day the loss of children and widowhood. They shall come upon thee in their perfection for the multitude of thy sorceries, and for the great abundance of thine enchantments. For thou hast trusted in thy wickedness, thou hast said, none seeth me. Thy wisdom and thy knowledge, they have perverted me. And thou hast said in thine heart, I am, and none else beside me. Therefore shall evil come upon thee, and thou shalt not know whence it rises. And mischief shall fall upon thee, and thou shalt not be able to put it off. And desolation shall come upon thee suddenly, which thou shalt not know. Stand now with thine enchantments, and with the multitude of thy sorceries, wherein thou hast labored from thy youth. If so, be thou shalt be able to profit. If it be so, if it be thou mayest prevail. See, the Lord is challenging Esau. Come with all your AI, come with all your sorcery, come with all your technological enchantments, and you still gonna fall. The Lord is calling them out. And Esau gonna accept that challenge, because as prideful as he is, because we just read Esau's thoughts. There, it's I am, and none beside me. He think he's the Most High. This man get butthurt at the very thought of somebody doing better than him. So how are you as strong as a God, but you weak? Your emotions are too fragile for you to be a God. Think about it. Anytime Esau get in his feelings, somebody dies. That's why the scripture said, if the Lord didn't come back, no flesh would be saved. This man will kill everybody and everything on the planet. Fit rulers don't do that. Fit rulers, their kingdom grows.
This one's diminishing.
A fit king does not destroy his own kingdom and murder his own people. He doesn't imprison his own people. Now, I don't know if y'all noticed or not, but this government has declared war on you hundreds of years ago. This ain't just started. Because they always putting shit in the water. Always putting shit in the food. Always spraying shit. Mm-hmm. This government has been declared war against you, especially you Israelites. They especially messing with you big time.
The ones that been oppressed all this time.
Spraying these chemicals in only your neighborhoods. Look at what they're doing in Memphis right now. They got this plant down there. I forgot what it's doing. Is it a data center or something?
They building a data center there and in actually many other places, man, right now.
But it's some kind of plant. But it's pumping harmful chemicals in the air. And just so happened, this is not coincidence, they built this facility near a black neighborhood. so-called black. And these chemicals are affecting the residents. They've been complaining, making them sick. They don't care. This government has declared war on its own citizens. So y'all fall for that enchantment America first you want to. You see who's first. The Israelis are first. Because they put a girl in jail for making a joke about doo-doo.
2 people.
Yeah.
A 23-year-old college student and actually a teacher as well. Yeah. Letting you know that they watching you on these apps, man. And that's gonna be a part of this system that's getting ready to be formed, that they forming right now.
Police state.
All your information, everything that you text, what you look up, what you go to the store and shop for, what movie you go look at, what food you go buy, all of that's gonna be recorded, man. All of it is gonna be recorded, and it's gonna be recorded through that MOTV, man.
Yo, y'all see digital currency is coming up more and more and more in the news. They preparing you for it. They telling you without telling you. Esau ain't man enough to say straight up what he want to do. So he gonna give you little hints and clues, little breadcrumbs. He wants you to pick up what he putting down without him saying it. So you can't say, well, you can't put no words in his mouth, basically. Because he could either say, well, I never said that. You know how he is. But you insinuate it all day. Now, you might not say it verbatim, but you insinuate it all day. See, that's why the scriptures say, let your yea be yea and your nay be nay. Anything other than that is pure wickedness, roughly paraphrasing the scripture. This man slick like that. That's why it says, Sirach chapter 12, verse 10, never trust thine enemy. This man always he always leaving himself a way out of something through wordplay. Finding loopholes in laws. He always make himself an escape route through wordplay. But the Lord ain't falling for that wordplay, bro. You ain't gonna get over on the Lord like you do in these courts. Because it ain't gonna be no talking. It's just gonna be judgment, baby.
I got this is an AI overview. Digital ID systems pose a significant danger, including massive data breaches, state surveillance. They're doing all this in China as well right now. State surveillance and exclusion from services, centralized databases created a single point of failure for hackers while enabling function creep where ID expands beyond its original purpose. They threaten privacy through tracking, potential for a social credit system, and reliance on digital devices. Key risks associated with digital ID include massive data breaches and identity theft. Centralized data centers. Are they putting these data centers everywhere right now as we speak? As they get this stuff put up put up. It says surveillance and privacy laws, digital IDs can be used for tracking individuals' movements, transactions, associations, and enabling surveillance networks. See, these people want to have you in digital chains, man, to where you can't move the way you moving right now. All the purchases that you make are going to be tracked. You know why? Because you're going to have to get that MOTB in order to buy, sell, or trade, man.
Now, I got a hypothetical question I want to throw out there at y'all. Going by what he just read, this would prove to be disastrous and wicked, right? So why aren't there protocols in place to stop this? There isn't, because this is what they really want. Yeah. That should let you know you are in a wicked kingdom.
And you gotta understand this too. With this war. I'm glad you guys. This war that's going on right now. Y'all forget that America is in debt right now beyond everybody. But all these other nations are in debt as well. All these other nations are in debt, man. And you need to think about this. They collapsing this shit on purpose, man. Mm-hmm. They collapsing it on purpose because they want you to go down this route.
Yeah.
They're trying to get rid of that dollar. They're trying to bring in this NWO so they can digitally monitor people. And the people that don't take this rice They gonna put you in them centers, man, and you will be tortured. They ain't putting incinerators and guillotines in these places for nothing.
And then you still got a bunch of migrants, quote unquote. They still coming up dead in ICE custody. So what does that tell you? These are murderers. This is what's really going on in the world stage. Despite this so-called war, they putting on this performance. Yeah, real people are dying. But know this: all the nations are on board to basically declare war on their own citizens to get them to take the mark of the beast. You know why? Choice. You don't have a choice. All of these nations, they are in league. They are in agreement. We don't want the Israelites ruling over us. So guess what? All the nations are going to force upon their citizens this mark of the beast in some way. Psalms 83. That nations are confederate against thee. Let's get that one. All the nations are our enemies.
Yep.
They might act like they beefing, but they all in agreement. They don't want us in rulership.
That's facts.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 83. We start at verse 1. A song or psalm of Asaph. Keep not thy silence, O Yahweh. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O Yahweh. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They lift up their head, that means they looking down at you. Verse 3, they have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. Verse 6, the tabernacles of Edom, number one on the list. And the Ishmaelites of Moab and the Hagarenes. Gabal and Ammon and Amalek, the Philistines and inhabitants of Tyre. Now I remember some of these. Edom, you know who that is. Ishmaelites, those are the Arabs. Moab, Chinese. The Hagarenes, I think those are Ishmaelites as well. Gabal, I think they're Ishmaelites. Ammon, Japanese. Amalek, fake Jew. Philistines, Hamites. Tyre, Hamites. So all of these nations are in agreement that they don't like us.
And they show it.
Yeah.
Oh, all of them.
Oh yeah, we figured that out a long time ago.
That's how we know that when we tell you Israelites out there, it's a totally big difference between Hamites and Israelites, man. Total difference. We're totally different people. And I always tell you all the time, ask them. Ask them yourself, they're going to let you know that you are not the same. They're going to act like they are better than you, but in reality, you are better than them. You don't walk around stuffing your head up cows' backside and all of that.
Bruh, you ought to see the Hamites in my apartment complex. These cats wear shower shoes and socks year round. You should have seen them when they was snowing. Flipping and sliding, I'm like, dude, you're not in Africa. And this difference, number one, Hamites ain't got no salt. They ain't got no flavor, nothing knowledge about themselves. You ought to see how they dress, shower shoes and socks. Polo shirt, sweatpants. None of it color coordinated. They ain't got no salt like us. They don't have the same spirit as we do.
Exactly.
Now, I got a question for the Hamites. If we ain't shit, and we ain't worth a damn, we worthless, why y'all can't stop building stores in our neighborhoods? Same as you, Ishmael, Moab, Ammon. If we ain't shit, why y'all can't stop building stores in our neighborhoods? We must got something you want. You want our money, that's obvious, but you also want our culture. You want our salt. You want our flavor. No, you can't have it.
And a lot of them stores in so-called Negroes neighborhoods, they take so-called black culture and put it in their stores. They see the way you act in real life. They watch how you act in real time, man. The way you dress in real time.
Long tees,
And
white
they take
tees.
that and they go order that stuff and they put it in their stores, man.
Right.
And you go shop with them and spend all your money with them while they look down upon you and laughing at you behind your back, man.
Yeah. So they down to use you. That's why they're in trouble. They have benefited from us being at the bottom. That's in Ezekiel chapter 35. Yeah, they played the low, they stayed low key, kept quiet about our identity. They knew who we are,
They all
but
know.
they benefiting. So, hey, we ain't finna say nothing. We finna get this money. Ezekiel chapter 35, we can start at verse 11. Therefore, as I live, said the Lord Yahweh, I will even do according to thine anger and according to thine envy, which thou hast used out of thy hatred against them, and I will make myself known among them when I have judged thee. And thou shalt know that I am the Lord Yahweh, and that I have heard all thy blasphemies which thou hast spoken against the mountains of Israel, saying, they are laid desolate, they are given to us to consume. That's what you people think. You can just use us any kind of way you want to, and then they're gonna happen to you. Well, I got news for you. Something's gonna happen to you. I'm about to read it. Verse 13. Thus with your mouth ye have boasted against me and have multiplied your words against me. I have heard them. The Lord got eyes and ears everywhere. Verse 14. Thus said the Lord Yahweh, when the whole earth rejoices, I will make thee desolate. Listen to this. As thou didst rejoice in the inheritance of the house of Israel because it was desolate, so will I do unto thee. Thou shalt be desolate. Yeah, y'all celebrate getting over on us. Now the Lord finna do it to you. O Mount Seir and all Idumea, even all of it, and they shall know that I am the Lord. But see, it's way more than just Idumea and Edom in trouble. All you nations are in trouble because you benefited. Ham, you in trouble. Ishmael, you especially in trouble because y'all helped round us up in West Africa. Then put out that lie like Hamites was selling Hamites. No, Hamites was selling Israelites. That's why they in trouble. Ishmael, you know you in trouble. Just because you attach yourself to Abraham, that is not your loophole, bro. Because out of Isaac shall the seed be called, not Abraham. Abraham wasn't even a Hebrew. He was of the bloodline of Hebrew. Hebrew Israelite did not exist at the time of Abraham. Israelite was given to the name Jacob, Israel. But he is of that bloodline. But it takes more than just having the blood of Abraham to make you an Israelite. You got to come down through the line Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So stop lying about Abraham, especially you lying as Israelis.
I got Obadiah 1:1 talking about Edom. The vision of Obadiah, thus said the Lord Yahweh concerning Edom. We have heard a rumor from the Lord Yahweh, and an ambassador is sitting among the heathen. Arise ye and let us rise up against her and battle. Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen. Thou art greatly despised. The pride of thine heart deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rocks, whose habitation is high, that said in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? And that was going back to when the brother was talking about the pride of Esau, man. This man feels like he can't be brought down. But as you can see, every day his kingdom is slowly going down to the ground, man. And this is going to continue as these judgments go forth. You know, you see the agriculture being messed up, gas prices going up, food prices going up. The inhabitants of Babylon are mourning on a whole nother level. People can't pay their rent. Well, actually, a lot of you people leaving them above your means anyway.
Exactly.
A lot of you people are living above your means, so I really don't feel bad for you. Having a $3,000 house and 3 cars, each got a monthly insurance payment on it. You doing it to yourself.
Yeah, because you know what? No matter how dire these situations get, guess what? Downtown Louisville is still packed every weekend.
Yep.
People walking around like they ain't got no problems. They got all the money in the world.
They down there right now.
Yeah.
It's Derby right now.
Yeah, and
they
then
down there kicking it.
And when they spend their check up, they're gonna be right back in the car making videos crying. Somebody in the comment. Look at all this money you blew on Kentucky Derby. A bunch of drunk Edomites down there on a muddy track, betting on a bunch of doped up horses.
Exactly. Out here murking it all up.
You know what I'm saying?
That's how you people gonna die out here, man. You know, this is Ecclesiastes 7:2. It is better to go to the house of mourning than to go to the house of feasting, for that is the end of all men, and the living will lay it to his heart, man. You know, y'all out there kicking it. You Israelites down there too, wearing little oaks clothes with the little nets over your face and shit, trying to live up like Esau was living it up back in the day. The little fancy dresses and suits, the hats. Y'all want to be a part of that so bad. That was never for you, man.
Yeah, they trying to dress like Southern Belles. When Louisville ain't even in the South. You got the state of Indiana 15 minutes up the road. So how is this the South? This is the Midwest. Now you got Southern Kentucky kind of in the South, right there by the Tennessee border. But as far as Louisville sits on the Ohio River between Indiana and Ohio. So how is this the South? I should know. I'm from the South. And it's more than just geographical differences. It's cultural differences. They don't cook like us. They don't talk like us. They don't walk like us. They don't smell like us. They don't have our flavor. That's how you are Southerner. It's more than just geographic. You got Southern culture down there that they don't have here. So no, this ain't the South. Y'all can stop that too. But see, you got a bunch of people down there murphing it up, putting their problems on the back burner, hoping it's gonna get better, believing in Esau's lies. And then when you spend all your money up gambling on doped up horses, now you're broke.
Over there hurt.
Don't go home and delete your family now. We know how sensitive you Edomites are. You done spent all the rent, all the mortgage on doped up horses.
In a fallen society and a fallen dollar, you get that money, you win off one of them horses, you get that little money. That money ain't gonna take you far, man.
No.
This shit, that dollar is dead. Y'all constantly trying to stack that dollar up, man. One day you gonna wake up and your bank account gonna be empty, my friend.
I'm gonna give y'all a news flash. If y'all haven't noticed it yet. The US dollar has become the new peso. You know how many pesos it takes? Let me see how many pesos it takes to make a dollar. Y'all steady putting your trust in this dead ass dollar. How many pesos in a dollar? 17.38 pesos make up $1. Now, let's do the dollar versus the Chinese yuan. Well, it still got a little string. It takes 6.84 Chinese yuan to make $1. So it still got a little spending power. But it ain't nothing what it used to be. And it never will be again. Because they are crashing this dollar on purpose. Joe Biden started that. He started crashing his dollar. Remember when he was giving gazillions and gazillions to Ukraine? They was flooding the market with dollars on purpose to weaken it, to lessen the value. And they still doing it. And I'm gonna tell you how you know your dollar's losing purchasing power, because everything else is going up.
Yeah.
They told you it was inflation.
But it's really the dollar.
It's not inflation. Your dollar is losing purchasing power.
That dollar's decaying, man. Basically, that dollar is decaying. And that was scripturally as well. This is James 5:3. Your gold and your silver is cankered, and the rust of them shall be a witness against you, and shall eat your flesh as it were fire. Ye have heaped treasures together for the last days. And you people are trying to stock up on all this stuff in these last days, where the shit, you stock it up to be took from you, because you're gonna have people that's gonna come looking for the shit that you got, and they're gonna steal it from you. And when you go in the canker, that's something that's infected with decay.
Yeah.
And then the U.S. dollar is decaying every single day, man, to where it's come to the norm. And eventually they're going to just completely take it away. That's why we say riches is not going to profit you in a day of wrath, man.
No, especially if you were stupid enough to show YouTube everything you can stock up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they coming. Let me go into some screenshots.
Especially when them families say, "Ooh, we."
I got some screenshots for the week. And this right here, this is Poetic Justice. Millionaire U.S. big game hunter, 75 years old. I ain't got to tell you what color he was, what nationality he was. Is trampled to death by 5 elephants while hunting antelope in Central Africa. It's a beautiful thing. Now, let's go into the stupidity and wickedness of Esau. 2.7 billion gallons of combined sewage released in the Lake Michigan. See? Waste and destruction are in their paths. That's Isaiah chapter 59. That's why this man's unfit to rule.
I gotta feed something on what you just that. The dude just got trampled down by the elephants, you said?
Yeah.
I gotta bring out some scriptures for that, bro. It's perfect time. This is Ecclesiasticus 39:28. There be spirits that are created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes in the time of destruction. They pour out their force and appease the wrath of him that made them. Fire and hail and famine and death, all these were created for vengeance. Teeth of wild beasts and scorpions, serpents, and the sword punishing the wicked to destruction. And that's what happened to that wicked Edomite right there. Got destroyed by wild beasts, man. And that's going to become a very common thing as we move forward in these prophecies, man, in these last days.
Yeah. The animal kingdom got beef with Edom. The monkeys. Look at all them experiments they do. Planet of the Apes. That movie franchise showed you how they tortured these animals. And I got another one. Studies show, now this is done intentionally. Studies show salmon exposed to cocaine can swim longer distances. Why would you? First of all, how you gonna get a salmon to snort some cocaine? See, Esau, you wonder why these animals finna get in your ass. Because you act like you crazy as hell, man. You making frogs gay. Now you got salmon sniffing cocaine. I don't understand. Well, I understand you. You wicked. That's the issue right there. And see how the wickedness trampled down our people, got our people lying. Kevin Gates. This is a quote from him. Experimenting with the same sex doesn't necessarily mean you're gay or bisexual. See, you can call it whatever you want to, but there is a sentence that comes with those activities. Death. Now you can call it what you want. The Lord gonna see it for what it is and judge you accordingly. See, you got a lot of Israelites that then took on the wickedness of Esau, thinking he can he can wordplay his way out of shit. No, you can't. Well, it's not murder. It's what they call it. It's an abortion.
Yeah, all right.
You can't wordplay your way out of this judgment. Just because you want to lie and say it's not gay, you still gonna be judged for gayness.
Mm-hmm.
And I never liked Kevin Gates anyway. Something was always off about him. Now I see why this motherfucker drinking women piss water and shit,
I knew something was wrong with that cat.
rocking feathers
I
in
was
his
just about
head.
to say, while wearing that with that feather in his cap.
I'm like, where they do that at? Where you from, New Orleans?
I
No,
don't remember.
he from somewhere in Louisiana, Baton Rouge or New Orleans. I'm like, they don't do that down there. Yeah, something always been off with this cat, man. Looking fruity as ever.
Yeah, they are like they father the devil. They want to follow Esau. You know, and y'all following Esau is following them into the riches. Got y'all doing a lot of strange things for a piece of change, man. Because y'all love money that much. So you can walk around with a clump of dead dollars on your head with a bunch of dead Edomites on it. That's future paper for fire for you for your hate and tissue to wipe your ass with. Like
You can't wipe your ass with a dollar because the ink could probably give you cancer. This man has laced everything in this country with wickedness. Look at the tampons for the women.
Yeah, cancer carcinogens in them.
See what I'm saying?
Yep.
This man has laced everything in this country with wickedness.
That's why the scriptures say this about them. This is Job 13:4. But ye are forgers of lies. Ye are all physicians of no value. Physicians supposed to heal people. These cats put shit that's supposed to put stuff in shit that's supposed to heal you. To cause you to go back to the hospital over and over and over and over again. Because if you heal, there's no money in the medical field.
Exactly.
It's constantly, that's just the way it is. If everybody is healed, you don't need medical insurance. Everybody's cured.
Exactly. Esau can't get no money he didn't have to work for.
And that's billions of dollars right there. You know how many people sick? How many people on health insurance and getting caught up in that plan to have to pay Esau this money? I was watching a brother GMS. He said he had to get a fucking $2,000, man.
Yep.
$2,000. Huh.
Speaking of Esau and his dangerous medicine, law passed in 3 states classified mRNA C-19 jabs as biological weapons of mass destruction.
After all y'all took it, they tell you. See?
But see, Esau pretend to be slow because he wants to ride that plausible deniability. I don't want to know in case somebody asks me. I don't want to have to tell the truth. That's what these people are on. So you're going to tell me you trust a government that chooses to ignore truth? Y'all crazy. Y'all put y'all trust in this government who lies every day, all day, and then expect you to continue to trust them? You people are insane. The government is insane. The inhabitants thereof are insane. And that's the scripture too. Let's go to the book of Sirach. Chapter 10. Verse 2. As the judge of the people is himself, so are the ruler. Well, let me start over. As the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers. And what manner of man the ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein. You got crazy ass government where you got wicked Edomites pretending to be politicians. Mm-hmm. And you got wicked people pretending to be God-fearing citizens. What they call them? Evangelists. Whatever. I don't know what you worship with evangelists because that word is not in the Bible. So you might want to go back and see what you worship. Catholic, not in the Bible. Protestant, not in the Bible. Baptist, not in the Bible, except for John the Baptist. But that was not referring to a religion. Y'all turned it into a religion of lies and deception. Mm-hmm. That's all you people do. You people find comfort in lies, man. That's why you got to be destroyed. Because as long as you comfortable in lies, you'll never build up the nuts to face the truth. So that's why the 2/3 got to be put down. You done made yourself too comfortable with lies. That's why Edom got to be put down. Edom been lying for over 2,000 years and still suck at it.
I got 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 9. Even him whose coming is after the working of Satan with all power and signs and lying wonders, and with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth, that they might be saved. A lot of people have perished because they believe in the lies that this man has told them about the bastard juice. You know, a lot of people are suddenly passing out, dying and shit, man. A lot of people have died for believing in this man, dude. And it says, and for this cause God shall send strong delusion, that they should believe the lie. And you people are in a delusion where y'all believe this man's lies, man. We can tell you all day, it means nothing. You got to hear from the ass's mouth.
Look at this. An Edomite gonna be an Edomite.
Stop, man. What you do?
It says, still trying to kill while disabled. I don't know if y'all can see it. An Edomite gonna be an Edomite. That blessing is his soul. And I got this too. This is about RFK Jr. This man is he's in control of the Department of Health. RFK Jr. chopped off a dead raccoon's penis to study later on a family road trip. I got another one. There's something else he did, because right now he in the news. He got caught lying to the courts about how he want to take so-called black children to Italy to get them on some type of program. Like, you better not let your Israelite child go with an Edomite you want to. What are they under fire for right now? Raping and murdering children. He gets on the stand and deny it, and then they play back the recording.
That what Esau, that what you just brought out about chopping off animals' parts and, you know, studying them, that's letting you know Esau, he's never satisfied with blood, man. He's got to go beyond, man. This is Ecclesiasticus 12:16. An enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips, but in his heart he imagined how to throw thee into a pit. He will weep with his eyes, but if he find opportunity, he will not be satisfied with blood. This man is not satisfied with blood. He goes pure overkill.
This is my question. Number one, Edom, why you so infatuated? First of all, why you got penis envy over the Israelites? Because your women are telling on you, as if we didn't already know that you was a fuckboy. But your women are telling on you about how you cannot stop thinking about a black man's penis. What's wrong with you? And then you got this sicko chopping off a dead raccoon's penis to study. What is it with you in phallic symbols? The Washington Monument, the necktie. Why are you so? It probably explain why you so gay. Because you can't get dicks out your mind. Excuse my French, but I got to be frank. This man is a perverse piece of shit. And there's something else RFK Jr. did. RFK Jr.'s cousin alleged he enjoyed showing off how he put baby chickens and mice in a blender to feed his hogs, adding that it was often a first scene of despair and violence. Is that not? Let me get the scripture.
That's crazy.
But this man is in charge of health. You people are insane.
That's why scripture say that our physicians know value. Exactly that.
This man can't get dicks out of his mind. Let's go to the book of Hebrews, chapter 12, verse 16. Lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau, who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright. Profane means you outside the temple. The Lord ain't dealing with you. And now we see why. This dude he performing. If the animals can sue you for sexual harassment, you got a problem. That's all I'm gonna say on it. Animals suing you for sexual harassment. The hell you doing with a raccoon's penis in your pocket, bruh? But that's how the perverse Edomite get down. That's why your number's so low. You got your priorities. You need to get your priorities in order instead of worrying about animals, young children, and other men's anuses. You need to be worried about impregnating your woman and getting your numbers up. But you ain't man enough to do that.
Disgusting ass Edomites, man.
If they can fight back, you ain't interested. Ain't that right? You got to find something that you can totally control. Because throughout my apartment complex, I see grown ass, big ass, tall ass Edomites walking the smallest dogs. It almost look like they walking gerbils. See, that's how insatiable Esau has to be in control of something. Especially in control of something that can't fight back. But you superior.
I got Job 30 and 8. They were children of fools. Yea, children of basement. They were viler than the earth, man. And we say it all the time, man. No one is viler than the so-called white man. Nobody. See our stupid ass women, y'all get out here and y'all go link up with these Edomites. And they put you to death in the most bizarre ways, man. But yeah, y'all still down talk your own men. That's why y'all gonna get put down, and that's why you are getting put down in horrendous ways by Esau Edom.
Yeah.
And you Jakes too, that's out there putting your trust in Esau Edom. Like I said last week, it's been several Jakes that's been hung. Even the Northern Kingdom Jake recently hung behind a police station in DC.
What about that Eve that they found?
Africa?
That went on a honeymoon with that Edomite.
Yeah.
Yeah. You see, this is the thing about Esau. He tell you that he has no empathy. But the reality of it is the Lord didn't give him empathy. That's why he's so savage. He's the only nation on this planet that wasn't given empathy. That's why he's able to go out and commit genocide like it ain't shit. Eat your babies like they ain't shit. That's why he can go out and murder innocent Israelites, pull them over and murder them. He wasn't given empathy. That's why he is known as the base man. Empathy is a heightened emotion. Esau's still at the base level. That's why he'll never understand empathy until he needs it. He never shows it, but when he's down and out, he expects it. See, a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways, James 1 and 8. That's why it says never trust thine enemy. This man act like he just harmless and shit and waiting for the right opportunity. And that says that in the book of Sirach, chapter 12 as well. Let me get it. Never trust thine enemy. You see, he gonna play like he weak just to get a advantage over you. Where is it?
It's not 12 and 11.
Yep. Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him, and And thou shalt be unto him as if thou hadst wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust have not altogether been wiped away. That's why I said never trust thine enemy. Yeah, he'll approach you like a wounded animal to get your sympathy, just to stab you in the back. Never trust thine enemy, for like his iron, so is his wickedness. This man is an opportunist. He waits for the right opportunity. He'll never fight you in a fair fight because he's a base man. He knows who's stronger than him. If you were so superior, you wouldn't have to rig the game of life. You would dominate regardless of how the rules are. But you got to rig the game. You got to rig the laws. And you still losing. So you a two-time loser in your own kingdom, bruh.
He called them opportunists.
They are.
And I'm laughing because I'm reading the scripture on that opportunity to seek blood if you can. This
Yeah.
is Ecclesiastes 12 and 16. Might have brought it out before, but I'll bring it out again. An enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips, but in his heart he imagined how to throw thee into a pit. He will weep with his eyes, but if he find opportunity, he will not be satisfied with blood, man.
Opportunist, waiting for that right moment to strike, like the serpent
Like
he
a snake.
is.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
why we
man.
don't pity nobody that's bitten by this serpent, man. Because you should see him for what he is.
Yeah.
This man is a beast.
Yeah, this man will make thee bear and not be sorry for it. That is never his fault. He'll take everything you got and blame you. Well, you should have defaulted on your payments. We have to seize your property.
Which also lets you know that goddamn it, you're still a slave.
Exactly.
That's the goal. That goes to let you know that each and every last one of you people out there are slaves. No matter how you look at it, you can come on to Israel. You can come at the Hebrew Israelites talking about we in captivity. Your ass is in a partial captivity too, because you a slave in this motherfucker.
Yeah,
you
you
a
are.
slave here. You get up every day, you go bust ass for some rich small hatter. You and a bunch of other slaves, y'all go to the plantation, bring home nothing. That's why you're seeing a lot of people cry on social media, mainly these so-called Edomites, crying because they can't live the life that they once lived. You are a slave to this society. You miss a payment on that house, you miss a payment on that car, that furniture set that you bring, you miss a payment on it, they come in and they season that.
That PlayStation 5 you got from Rental Center.
They come in the season. If you miss that payment, it's not yours, man.
See, y'all don't understand the game. The rules of the game have changed. It used to be you make payments that leads to ownership. Now you only making payments that leads to access.
Yeah.
And if the payment stop, your access stops.
Yeah. You driving your car, you paid it off. You know, you actually paid off the whole car, but you still gotta pay insurance and you gotta go get permission, a license to drive that vehicle.
And you got to get them free money every year to register the car.
Yeah.
See, this is what Esau does. He'll take something, an activity, everyday normal activity, and he'll charge you for that activity. Driving. You got to pay this man to drive your own car.
Yeah.
So he sells it back. He sells access or permission back to you in form of permits and licenses. That's how he sells you permission to do everyday shit. If you don't make that payment, you don't renew that registration, you can't even drive the car that you own. See how this man sells you permission?
That's that. His ways are always grievous. That's Esau for you. I'm in Psalms 10 and 5. His ways are always grievous. Thy judgments are far above out of his sight. As for all his enemies, he puffeth at them. And this man is extremely grievous, man. And when you go into grievous, it says something called severe pain, suffering, sorrow, or a very serious, grave, or atrocious situation. If you live in Kentucky and you gotta drive all the way into Indiana somewhere, a bus can't get you there, that's gonna make your situation dire because now you can't get the money, you can't get to work to make the money you need to pay your bills, man. That's a grievous situation. This man makes everything worse on everybody. He'll see everything's working, but he'll try to improve it, but fucks it up.
No, he'll tell you
Yeah.
he's trying to improve it.
But he's fucking it up.
Let me get this one right here. Where is it?
The term comes from Middle English, meaning heavy or burdensome. This man's ways, the way he pushes his laws, is a burden.
Because he doesn't have
Everyone.
empathy. That
Nope.
goes back to no empathy.
Yep.
He's not human. If you're not human, you don't know how to treat people like humans. He's not. If he is, he's the only human that eats his own infants, like animals. The only nation of so-called two-legged beings on the planet that eats their own young. That's an animal. I think I found that script. Yeah. Sirach chapter 12, verse 17. If adversity come upon thee, thou shalt find him there first. And though he pretend to help thee, yet shall he undermine thee. He always coming like he gonna lower taxes and all. He gonna do something good for you. And I always end up doing the opposite. But for some reason, you people still trust him.
Which is something grievous again, because when he got in his office, he pretty much oppressed everyone. Made it real hard for everyone. Oppression goes into grievousness, man.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Because it is in the power of their hands.
Yep.
That's in the book of Micah. He do it because he can, not because it's the right or wrong thing to do. This man get a kick out of making your life a living hell. That's why he got the judgment coming that he's got coming.
You can go to Isaiah 10 and 1.
You can go ahead and get Micah.
Woe, this is Isaiah 10 and 1. Woe to them that decree unrighteous decrees, and that write grievousness, there go that word again, which they have prescribed, to turn aside the needy from judgment and to take away the right from the poor of my people, that widows may be their prey, and that they may rob the fatherless, man. And that's how Esau moves around, man. He comes up with these harsh ass conditions, these draconian laws. Like when they mandate that MOTB, that's gonna be as grievous as it's gonna get, because now you gotta worry about that fork in the crossroad to if you're gonna feed your family or you're gonna put your faith in Yahweh Shem Yahushai. And I'm talking to you Israelites when I speak on that, because you're the only ones that can call on Yahweh Shem Yahushai.
You know what they're gonna do?
They're gonna go right on. They're gonna go to Pharaoh.
They're gonna be worried. They ain't gonna be worried about eternal salvation. They're gonna be worried about their current status in this society.
You gotta think about it in the moment.
Yeah, they're gonna be thinking about, well, I done spent my whole life, to get this house and this car and this good job. I just can't let it go. Well, if you don't let it go, you're gonna die in it anyway, because it's gonna be destroyed regardless. This is the book of Micah chapter 2, verse 1. And this talking about the grievous laws Esau does, just because he can. Not because it's the right or wrong thing to do, just because he wants to. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds when the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand. Just because they want to. And they cover fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man in his house, even a man in his heritage. What's going on in New York right now? You got a bunch of fake Israelis committing deed theft. First, they commit identity theft against the Israelites. Now they're committing deed theft against the Israelites. They go in and printing up these false documents saying that your deed is no longer valid. Now they hold the deed. But then, see, I Googled this, deed theft. And you know what came up? They showed an AI video of Jake committing deed theft.
Stop.
A so-called bald-head black man. I did a video on it. They showed a bald-head black dude all up in the ears of old white people getting over on them. But in all actuality, in that same video I did, I showed 2 Israelis got caught doing it. One of the Jakes told him that he don't give a damn about that fake ass piece of paper or that fake ass hat on your head. He said he'll knock that shit the fuck off his head, quote unquote. These are New York Jakes. They weren't falling for it. He was like, look, man, get the fuck out of here. He was like, you came, the police came, they ain't do nothing. Leave before we put these flops on you. And then another Israeli, he was in court for it, trying to get the man to leave the house so he can rush in and kick the door in and change the locks. These Israelis. And then you got one over there. This was old footage, but this Palestinian woman told him, Yaakov, you are still in my house. He said, if I don't steal it, somebody else will. No empathy. That's why their punishment is going to be so harsh. Because Esau doesn't understand empathy. He understands pain. And that's what the Lord got for him. But see, yeah, you got these. Now you got to think about this. How can an Israeli get access to fake deeds? It's simple. Who owns the houses? The banks.
Yep.
Who owns the banks? Israelis.
Yep. Them bankers, man.
That's why they can print up a fake deed. We told y'all this man will whip out a pen and a piece of paper and a pen and give himself permission to take your shit. That's all a fake deed is. But it did not work. Them Jakes did not give in. They about to beat his ass out there. Because you people are annoying, man. And that fake Jew said it right. He said, we are parasitic people. But then in the same breath, you say you got high IQ. Well, what have you done with all this high IQ besides fuck shit and bullshit and dumb shit? You are worthless because you don't have a skill in the world. You couldn't support yourself even if your life depended on it. Because you're so entitled. You're so used to our tax money. You can't go out there and get it on your own. You are useless people. What have you contributed to the families of nations on this earth besides death, violence, destruction, and grief? You haven't contributed anything. You haven't brought anything to the table. You haven't created anything. You are a useless people because you can't do for yourself. But what happens when we do for ourselves? You get back in that jealousy, that hatred, and you destroy what we built. So that's what racism stems from. Any type of racism always starts in jealousy. Because guess what? That jealousy that's why we living in y'all heads rent-free beachfront property with no utilities. Jealousy leads to racism. And that's all you people ever felt for us. Jealousy. But you disguise it as hatred. You're just jealous. You fuck boys.
We was talking about that, them just printing up papers, taking people's deeds and shit like that. That's what Esau is. That's one of the things that he's always been about, man. This is Daniel 8:25.
Exactly.
And through his policy, also shall he cause craft to prosper in his hand, and he shall magnify himself in his heart, and by peace shall destroy many. He shall also stand up against the prince of princes, but he shall be broken without hand. And when you go into that word craft, it goes into his power. And the earth is given into the hand of the wicked, right? So they had power. The power was in his hands to do this bullshit that he's doing and to get away with it because the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof, right? So that's how these people are getting away with these things and are not in trouble as other men. Because the power is given it to them for right now. But they are losing power and the power is going to be transferred over to Yahweh Shai and the 144,000 elect, man.
That's why this man's judgment is so harsh. James chapter 2, verse 13. Those that show no mercy shall have no mercy, and mercy rejoiceth against judgment. The Lord didn't give you empathy on purpose, so you can be judged for not having.
I got one more scripture we close if you got something else, bro.
Go ahead, bro. Piss me off. That is the spirit, though, man. What the scripture say? Pressure will make a wise man mad.
Oh yeah. This is James chapter 2 and 13. For he shall have judgment without mercy, that have showed no mercy, and mercy rejoices against judgment. So this man never showed mercy, not even to his own.
Yep.
So when the time comes for him to get judged, he's not going to have no mercy, and then he will be wiped away after his 1,000 years of servitude underneath the Israelites, man. And we can continue to live on a piece of the kingdom without this damn cancer, man.
This man had the nerve he had to call Cassidy to say, if it wasn't for us, you'll still be living in grass huts. No, you're right, because if it wasn't for you, we would still be living in our castles.
Yeah. This Edomite had the audacity to also tell me as well that it was a post with our white folks, the stuff that y'all take pride in and have fun with would never be here. And I was like, you can't be serious, bro. The Israelites created everything, bro. Everything. And he tried to call me stupid. So what I did was I went and I started pulling up because I got this chart of all the so-called Negro inventors and the ones that improve inventions. Because none of these inventions, most of these inventions were created and improved. And if Jake didn't invent it, he improved it drastically, man.
Esau always takes something that's already established and try to claim it's his. He never built from ground zero anything.
So I gave them several names and the receipts. That argument went downhill real quick. Couldn't say nothing else.
And you know why?
Esau he don't do reality.
No.
When you hit him with the receipts, he'll buck.
You know what he do? Esau has been conditioned, especially Babylonian Edomites. They have been conditioned to come against whatever doesn't benefit them. Yeah. That's why they so anti-truth. Truth doesn't benefit, or it doesn't warrant his position as being superior.
These cats love to deflect, man.
Yeah, his superiority is based on them lies. He the strongest. Okay, take your ass out of the sun.
Facts, man.
See how that play out. All your superiority. Your house of superiority is built with a deck of cards, baby. All it takes is this.
It's over.
Lies exposed. Mm-hmm. So y'all can miss me with that bullshit. We know who we are. And we know who you are. And the world knows who you are. So you think after you fall this time, the world gonna allow you to come back in power? I take that back. You think Yahweh Shai gonna allow you to come back in power?
That's right, bro.
It's over. So go ahead and do whatever you do, whatever Edomites do. Get the wickedness out your system, because this is going to be the last time you are able to do it before the 144,000 come and put heavenly boots up your ass.
Thus saith the Lord.
Go on, close on that, bro.
With that being said, we want to give all praise, honor, and glory to
Yahweh,
Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakadash. And that sounds Shalom and the Bible Ball, man.
Shalom, Bible Ball.